Hi everyone, I'm Audrey and I've decided to share my experience with PCOS, not only to show you guys my experience, but to educate you about it. I say educate you about it because most doctors don't. I was first diagnosed with PCOS when I was 18 years old. I think I started having symptoms around when I was 17, maybe a little bit before that. I started gaining a lot of weight. I was having hair growth, a bad relationship with food. I was getting very bad acne, and I was having irregular periods. So those are just kind of a few of the symptoms you can have from PCOS. There's a lot more out there. I wouldn't say I went to my doctor because of all of those. I really only went because I didn't have a period for about 4 to 5 months, I would say. PCOS is polycystic ovary syndrome. It is a hormonal imbalance and can cause irregular periods, high levels of male hormones like androgens. It can potentially cause ovarian cysts, which can also lead to infertility. It can also cause issues like insulin resistance, which is pretty much the main cause. You will hear a lot of people say that can lead to type 2 diabetes, heart conditions, and many other complications. While there is no cure for PCOS, there are some things you can do to decrease those symptoms that you are having. I just want to say that what may work for one person will not work for you, or it could do better than what it did for that person. Everybody's different, so don't feel discouraged when something is not working for you, but it did for somebody else. When I was diagnosed, my doctor just told me I had PCOS, and that was it. They did not explain to me what it was. I had to go home and research, and that kind of surprised me as to why they didn't tell me exactly what it was, because this is something I'm going to struggle with for the rest of my life. After I found out what exactly it was, I talked to my doctor more about it, and she suggested I go on birth control just because I wasn't having a period. I was on it for about 6 months, I would say, and I still didn't have a period. So I took the upper hand, even though my doctor said I shouldn't get off of it, but I did anyways. And it was about a month later, I ended up getting my period. While it wasn't regular, I was still getting one, which was a plus. Now, at this point, I was in college. Doing my research with PCOS, I found out that dieting and exercising has a lot to do with it. And so I took the exercise route just because I was in college, and trying to go on a diet in a cafeteria was not working. And I mean, you would pretty much eat like nothing if you were. I wanted to try and go gluten-free. That is something I still want to do, and I've tried it multiple times. It's just, it's really hard. You have to have very good self-discipline when it comes to that. So I pushed myself to go into the workout routine. I did have a gym on campus. I would go to it. If I wasn't going to the gym every single day, I was playing tennis with my sister. And if we weren't doing that, we were going on hikes. Now, I did this pretty much my whole first and second semester of college, and I was not seeing any results. In fact, I was actually gaining more weight. And at this point, I was like, nothing's gonna work for me. I give up. And now I know that in order for you to lose weight while exercising, you also have to have a good balanced diet. So just working out and not controlling what you eat is not gonna work. You have to balance your calories and the calories that you're burning in order to lose weight. And that was also really hard for me, is the watching what you eat. I would not say I had an eating disorder because I was not diagnosed with that, but I did have a really bad relationship with food. It was either I would not eat at all. Now, this is not because I was trying to starve myself to lose weight, but it's just that my body wasn't telling me that I was hungry. Now, when I realized I had pretty much gone all day without eating, I would eat, but there was just times where I was not eating at all. And this also had no effect with my weight. I wasn't losing any weight because I wasn't eating. And that's just one thing with PCOS. It's really hard for you to lose weight. Now, the other bad relationship I had with food would be I was constantly eating. So I could eat a meal, like a good, sufficient, high-protein meal, but almost 30 minutes after that, I was still hungry. Like, it wasn't like a mind thing. It was like my stomach was hungry. And it got to the point that I was eating a lot of food, and it kind of hit me out of nowhere that I was like, I'm kind of ashamed to eat this much in front of people. So I didn't stop eating to help myself. Instead, I decided to start hiding it. I would hide food in my room so I can eat later that night. Or if I was gonna go out to eat with some people, or before my family got home, I would go and make me a meal to eat, and then I would eat the meal that we also had. So I was eating a lot of food. That did not work with losing weight at all. And I would say it was probably went on for about a year and a half, I would say. It was a long time of me just gaining weight and not doing anything about it. And I hate myself for doing that, because now here I am, I want to lose the weight, and I'm at the heaviest I've ever been, and it's going to be a struggle. So it was the beginning of 2024, I decided this is going to be the year I get myself in check. I'm going to grab a hold of my life, and I'm going to get back on track. That's what I thought, but my body laughed in my face about it. From January 6th until April 15th, I was dealing with gallbladder problems. I could not keep any food down. Anytime I ate, I would run to the bathroom and throw up. I was in a lot of pain. I didn't feel like doing anything, which kind of sucked because I actually had a job that I really, really enjoyed. But it made it harder for me to do anything. So it was April 15th when I had got my gallbladder removed, and I was like, thank God I get over this. I can actually start. I still have quite a bit of the year left. I can do this. After I had the gallbladder out, I was still in a lot of pain. So I wasn't doing anything. I didn't feel like working out. I didn't eat a lot. My stomach was in a lot of pain every time I did eat, so that made me not want to eat. So I either wasn't eating or I wasn't eating that much. And it wasn't until August, I do believe, that I ended up having a gastroscopy done, and it showed that I had a hernia. So now I am on medication for the pain for that, and my stomach is no longer hurting. So in between the January and April of me having all that gallbladder problems, I went to 3 different doctors, and just to get it figured out that I was having gallbladder problems and when to get it removed. But I did find a doctor that actually listened to me and my PCOS problems, and she prescribed me metformin. Now, metformin is to treat type 2 diabetes, or to prevent you from getting type 2 diabetes if you are in a risk of developing it. I was on metformin for about a year, maybe a little over, before I stopped taking it. I was concerned about taking it for so long just because there are long-term side effects from it. But I will say it did help with hair growth that I did have, and it helped with my acne tremendously. So now that I'm off of it, my hair growth is faster and I'm starting to get acne again. I've been off of it now for 2.5 months, I would say. It wasn't until August that I had my gastroscopy done and I got my answers. Then I was like, all right, I'm gonna get back on track. This is it. We're gonna fix this. And then in October, I ended up moving from Oklahoma to North Carolina. This is where my fiance was in the military, and after he got out, he ended up getting a job here, so we decided we're gonna stay because it's just a too good job to pass up. So 2024 was not my year, I would say. I am trying to make 2025 work for me. I have been taking care of myself. I've been going on walks. I got a new puppy, so I take him for walks whenever I can. We're eating better. I am on birth control again. I am taking the O pill. And honestly, this will be my third birth control to be on, and this is by far my favorite. It has regulated my periods for the most part. Now, every now and then I am like a week or two behind, but no big deal because I'm still getting a period, and that's great. What I hope you get from this video is that you are not alone. There may be struggles along the way, but you are headed in the right direction. I plan on documenting my year of 2025 so you can see that it's doable and all you have to do is start.